Deserve victory.
Deserve victory.
Deserve victory.
Deserve victory just simply means that no program or student athlete is guaranteed victory, but with the right core values and the right leadership, you can deserve victory. From our standpoint, if you're smart, tough, disciplined, and better conditioned, that's the foundation. Ultimately, the goals plus execution equal outcome. We feel that these 8 pillars and that foundation are what's going to support our goals.
Choices.
Choices protect performance. You are what you repeatedly do.
In order to be successful in our program, you have to make great choices.
Choices you make on the field, off the field, in class, just being a great young man. Attitude.
Attitude sparks performance.
If you have a positive attitude, then with weightlifting or anything with school, if you think you're going to do it, you're going to do it.
Your attitude really shows what type of man you are and how you deal with adversity.
Partnership.
Partnerships influence performance.
You can't do everything by yourself, especially in football and life.
I believe you always got to have someone on your side to get through things, your family, your friends, your coaches. They're always going to be your partner. Gratitude.
Gratitude enriches performance.
Gratitude is basically showing appreciation, being thankful for what others sacrifice for you.
Gratitude is the opposite of entitlement.
Just being thankful for what you have will make you work even harder.
Team me.
Team me means big team and little me.
Everyone has their role on the team.
Can't beat the drill with selfish people. Can't win with selfish people.
It's all about being unselfish and realizing that you're not the only person on the team and the team's bigger than yourself.
We're all one, and we all need each other in order to be a great team.
Passion. Passion energizes performance. I don't think you can do anything worth anything in this life if you don't have passion, you don't have energy. We call it around here at the University of Miami, bringing the juice.
And that's what this program was built on, was passionate players. If you don't have passion, then you don't deserve to be a Miami Hurricane.
Preparation.
Proper preparation prevents poor performances.
At the University of Miami, we try to be the industry leader in terms of preparation.
The preparation that we put into each practice, the preparation that we put into each game.
Up to the last 48 hours towards the game, we're going to be preparing for the event.
Empowerment.
Empowerment means owning your craft.
Empowerment frees performance.
Empowerment to me means somebody gives you the plan in order to be successful, and you take that plan. They don't need to tell you anymore what you have to do. You just go out and do it on your own.
Coach Golden has shown us the values of the pillars. That's the backbone of our team. We'll deserve victory through our hard work.
We have an opportunity to deserve victory, to be champions, to be great. And I know each one of you want it as bad as I want it.
Remember, no player or coach is guaranteed victory, but with the right core values and the right leadership, you can deserve victory. Choose to deserve victory every day.
Hi, I'm Jerry Horowitz. I'm the Director of High School Player Development at the National Football League. I'm excited to be on the campus at the University of Miami. And on behalf of the National Football League and the National Guard, I'd like to thank Coach Golden, his staff, and anyone involved in production of this 2013 High School Player Development tape, which will be distributed to every high school football coach in the country. Coach Golden, thank you very much.
Thank you, Jerry. And thank you to the NFL, and thank you to the National Guard for giving the University of Miami Hurricanes a wonderful opportunity to share with America and all of its coaches the fundamentals and techniques and drills that we believe in here at the University of Miami and how we teach our players every day. It's vitally important that all of us as instructors and coaches and leaders of young men not only focus on the safety integrity of the game, but that we also make sure that we are supporting the core values that are represented here in the HSPD. I think we all understand at some point that we're going to have to retire from the game, or that not all of us will make it to the NFL. And it's incumbent on all of us as high school coaches, as coaches in college, and obviously as leaders in the community to produce young men that are equipped and prepared and can meet all the challenges that they'll face in the community and the workforce. I've been involved in the high school player development program since 2001. And the reason why I've been involved is because it's so vitally important to the future of our game, to the integrity of our game, that we teach fundamentals and that we teach safety and that we always put player safety first. The HSPD is more than just teaching X's and O's or techniques and fundamentals. It's a way to teach and share core values that align with both the NFL, the National Guard, and also the University of Miami in terms of producing great young men in the classroom in the community, and obviously on the field of competition. On behalf of the University of Miami Hurricanes and our coaching staff, we hope you and your coaching staff will find the instructional drills both enjoyable and useful as you start to train your student athletes in the fundamentals of the game, the safety of the game, and ultimately teaching them core values that will last a lifetime. We hope that in the end that your student athletes will deserve victory.
Coach, being down here and seeing your staff put together this video, I'm sure that 2013 will be the best video that has ever been produced. Again, on behalf of the National Football League, the National Guard, Coach Golden, thank you very much.
Thank you, Jerry.
The first of the 6 compartmentalizing your contact drills is what we call 3-spot. With 3-spot, we're really looking at 3 different segments on the field of play. As we look at it from left to right on our screen, we have the offensive open side of the formation, offensive tackle, guard, center with a fullback and a running back, in this case going against the backside of an over defense, a shade, a 5, a Mike, and a Sam. In the middle, we have a center and 2 guards and a running back going against a nose, a Mike, and a Will. And on the right side, we have the closed side of the offensive formation with a tight end, tackle, guard, and center, also using the one-back formation against the over side of the defense. In this particular instance, we are playing over with a 6 technique, but certainly you can play with a 9 or a 7 or whatever you feel comfortable with. So the offensive formations will change. Sometimes we'll put the closed side on the left side. Sometimes we'll get into one-back formations all across the board. And certainly on the defensive side, today we're in over, but the next time we line up, we could be in under or even in an odd front. If you look below, we have not only the names of the corresponding players and where they're supposed to be for this drill, but just above it, we have the names of our plays. We have 15 weak, 19 weak on the left side. In the middle, we have 14 and 15 gut. And on the right side, we have 14 gut and 18 strong. So clearly, we are working zone schemes on this particular day, but there's a myriad of things that you can call on offense. We just try to keep it simple. Again, this is about TFT. This is about techniques. This is about fundamentals and about team toughness and doing it in an environment and in a controlled setting to reduce risk. So let's take a look at this. The drill starts on my whistle. We'll go right to left. The film will follow us. As I hit the whistle, that just means that the cadence can begin with the quarterback, but it also alerts the next group that on the dead ball whistle, they'll start. It will go right to left. As you can see here, the middle group is already starting to get organized as the group on the right is ready to snap the ball. Again, this is a really good example of what we're looking for. Great pad level by our 3 technique in this case. Good get off. It's a fast, physical play. Great downhill by 59 to Mike. A little bit too wide by 31 at Will, but he is playing downhill. And again, we're looking for leverage. We're looking for how to defeat blocks with our hands. Ultimately, how to shed blocks on defense. Clearly on offense, we're looking for leverage. We're looking for hat placement. We're looking for keeping our feet moving, playing with a base, and finishing the play. We like to keep everybody off the ground in this drill. Now we move to the middle segment. Again, we're working 3-on-3. Again, we're looking for base. We're looking for leverage, hand placement, finishing blocks on offense, strain, shedding, and thudding the ball carrier up on defense. Great job in this case by Denzel Perryman, 52, playing downhill. Good leverage with his hands, moving his feet laterally, straining to get off the block, and then ultimately thudding and finishing by bringing his feet. Well done. Again, if you just look at this segment right here, there would normally be 7 or 8 players outside of where 52 makes the thud, thus increasing your probability of piles or injury. We're just trying to reduce that in this drill. We go to the open side of the drill now, and we have a guard, tackle, and center working against the shade 5, Mike and Will side. So, again, we're getting a lot of good technique, good fundamentals, good tough plays, but we really want to reduce the amount of bodies that are on the ground and in the number of piles that we have. Again, the drill goes right to left on my whistle. Back to the right side now. Good physical play. Good physical play by both linebackers running downhill. 3 technique has great get off, cuts the ball off. The Will could fall back a little bit better in this play, but again, it's really not germane to what we're talking about here in terms of just making sure that you understand the drill. What you're running on defense is immaterial to this conversation. Again, we try to eliminate the number of bodies on the ground. So here's an instance here where we were bringing the drill to the game. So this is the close side that we just talked about. And in this instance, the Mike is going to play the A gap with his hat in hands. That's the gap that he's protecting. That's the gap that he's in charge of versus a direct read. The 3 technique is going to play with his hat in hands in the B gap. Okay, and again, if he can cut the ball off, that's going to allow us to pick up the Will as a fallback player. The end is playing a 6 technique versus this tight end, and the Will, if the ball got to the perimeter, would end up out here, but if the ball fell back, he would be able to come in here. So it's a great example of us bringing the drill, our technique, and the training to the game. Again, all 3 players using hat in hands, straining on the block, and then disengaging. Let's flip it around and look at the offensive side now. Here's the open side that we just worked in the previous drill. Again, zone reach here, zoning to the shade, and to the Mike linebacker in this case. We're miking him. Our Will is going to be out here. So our fullback will lead up on him. Our tailback will stretch and puncture, and we are cutting on the backside. Again, this is the side that we're working on right here. All right, we're taking our technique, we're taking our training, and we're taking our fundamentals to the game. Great job by Lamar Miller once he gets a seam, sticking a foot in the ground and going north. Now we're looking how we take the training of the game for the inside 3. This is a great example here of how we're taking our training to the game. Again, it's immaterial what you're calling, but in our instance here, we have an out call. We're going to have these 2 working to this linebacker. We're going to have this tight end here, this tackle blocking here in a zone scheme, and now this fullback is going to line up and find a 51. Again, we are working a press zone scheme by the tailback with a cutback with it. Again, the most important thing is that we look right here in the middle. That's the most important thing because that's bringing the application of the practice to the game. So the 3-spot drill for us is really a great way for us to bring our TFT from the practice field to the game. Improve your toughness, improve your fundamentals, and ultimately improve your technique, all right, while keeping your players safe, getting them healthy, and putting your best product on the field on game day. The next drill we'll talk about is the 3-on-3 drill, and basically what you do is you post the combinations in the locker room which 3 offensive players will go against which 3 defensive players, and then the quarterback simply hands the ball off to the running back. The yellow dots are the out of bounds. We try to do this off the sideline, so at least we have one sideline. And then on our field, we have a red line that's about 6 yards from the sideline. Sometimes we use the strip. You could put rope down, whatever it is. But basically, the offense has 3 downs to get 10 yards, and it's just basically just everybody working on their leverage, their hands, maintaining blocks on offense, defeating blocks, and tackling on defense. It's a live drill. It's 3-on-3. We post the matchups, and the kids really get a lot of fun out of it. So as you can see here, it's only about 5 or 6 yards wide, but the offensive running back is 7 yards deep, and it's just everybody playing basically a 2-gap. Face mask, hands, playing with a base, being able to strain, and then ultimately who are the 6-second competitors of the group. That's what we're looking for. It's a live drill. Again, we only have 6 people involved in close quarters. Guys get jacked up. Again, it's great for team unity, camaraderie, and at the end of the day, it's good on good for 3 plays, guys. 3 reps. It's a lot of fun. So as you look at this in sequence now, it looks like it's about 3rd and 5 or 3rd and 6. Again, the field is really 10 yards long by about 6 yards wide. 3 downs to get 10 yards. So really it's just, again, it's leverage, low pads, hat placement, hands inside, playing with a good knee bend. Again, that looks like it was for the win. The offense is all jacked up. So we keep score during it. And again, the guys have a lot of energy. We're making it so that we're enjoying the battle. We're enjoying the competition. It's becoming second nature to us. There's no anxiety. A lot of guys are excited. Makes it a lot of fun. Coach Keogh there is not sure what Coach Keogh's doing. Again, we look like we have wideouts versus wideouts here. We just try to match them up, bigs versus bigs, combos versus combos. And skills versus skills. Again, good, tough physical drill. Bringing the drill to the game now. Face mask, hands. Knocking plays back. Again, that's all this is here now for 31. This is face mask, hands, being able to strain, shed, and then knock it back with nowhere to go. Finish this drill. Big play on the goal line. Get that ball out. 1st and goal now goes the other way. Well done. Again, we're looking at the application in the game right here. Just, basically just 3-on-3, knocking it back, bringing your feet, finishing the play. Again, great job by the running back in this instance. just finding a way to get in the end zone. We'll look at it again. Again, just they learn how to run tough in these closed quarters. We compartmentalize it so we're safe. We don't have a lot of piles. In this case, really good job just finishing and getting that ball in the end zone. The next drill we're going to talk about is the Oklahoma drill. Now, the Oklahoma drill is as old as the game itself, but it maintains its credibility in terms of practicing because it does reduce risk. It does take the well-being and safety of the student athletes into effect, and it does break down and isolate the toughness, the technique, and the fundamentals that we're looking for in these drills. They are very competitive in nature, but yet, the player is only going to go 2 to 3, maybe 4 times at the most. What we like to do here at the University of Miami is post all the matchups. We like to make sure that we got the big guys going against the big guys, and the combos going against the combos, and the skills going against the skills. And it does a really good job matching them up. It creates competition. And the other thing you can do in training camp is keep score and post it and keep a running tally. Again, like all these drills, we mix and match them, but it does create a lot of energy, and the kids really learn a lot from it. Again, what we like to do is have the ball carrier about 6 yards back, and the drill starts on the offensive blocker's movement. Don't make it complicated. We like the running back 6 yards back, and the drill starts on the offensive blocker's movement. The key here to the drill is to have the running back not leave until contact is made. So that's really important. This is a drill where we're trying to teach staying on blocks, keeping a base, moving our feet, and finishing the block on offense. On defense, it's a drill where we want to not false step, not give up ground if we don't have to, get our feet and hips underneath us, strike with our elbows in, rubbing our rib cage, thumbs up, press the blocker back with our hands, lock him out, strain and shed and move laterally, get outside the framework, and then ultimately finish with a live tackle. Again, there's not a lot of bodies in this drill. Rarely, if ever, do we get someone nicked up in this drill, but we're really teaching, again, the technique, the fundamentals, and the toughness. Great look here on 96. Again, I can't say it enough. If you're teaching defensive football, it's key in terms of defeating a block. It's really important that if the ball carrier is going this way, that the defender lock out and strain until the ball carrier commits. The ball carrier can cut back, so it's really important that we strain and lock out until the ball carrier commits. As soon as the ball carrier commits to this gap, it's important we take this foot and get it to our midline, and then we take this foot and get it outside the framework of the body. It's really important that our hips clear the framework of the offensive lineman. At that point, we can strain, shed, rip, disengage, whatever you teach. Turn the pad, whatever it is that you teach. For us, we want to turn the pad, lock out the near arm, move the foot away from the intended direction, which in this case would be the right, and then finish on through with the tackle. Again, we'll look at it again because it's really important, and it's one of the most overlooked aspects of defeating the block. Most people just teach the strain and then rip, but the back foot has got to come away from the intended direction. Here's a good clip of a guard versus a linebacker. And again, we never want them further than 3 yards apart. We don't need any hat-to-hats. We don't need any helmet-to-helmet collisions or anything like that. And we don't need any running starts. It's all about leverage, getting your pads low, getting your elbows inside, all right, and being able to play the game with a base and low pad. So we don't need any violent collisions here. Again, good job by 65 finishing there. Again, another good job by the offensive lineman finishing there. So here's an application to the game here. And again, all we're talking about is whether he's a G and he's coming to a 3, all right, or he is just simply exploding into this guy, all right. And now we're taking our training to the game, all right. We're bringing our hands getting our feet to replace our downhand and pushing back, and then ultimately being able to disengage and move our feet off the block. Well done by 98 there. Same thing that we're teaching here. Again, all this is an Oklahoma drill. Again, we try to keep it consistent with our fundamentals. Good base, try to gain ground on the first step, try to get your second foot in the ground and get it down the midline. And again, at that point, it's rub the ribs with your elbows, thumbs up, hands in, low pads, and inside leverage with your hands. Again, good job bringing his feet. Well done. Again, the Oklahoma drill is an old drill. It's an historic drill in the game, and I think it has more value today than probably at any time in our history, primarily because it allows us to reduce the risk of injury, allows us to control and condense the moving parts, and ultimately allows us to continue to improve our team toughness, our techniques, and ultimately the fundamentals that we need on each play. One of the things that we love at the University of Miami is our special team scrimmage, and it's really helped us execute better in this third of the game. Every play in the scrimmage is a special teams play, and every scrimmage kick is fourth down, and you determine the yards ahead of time. We draft the teams ahead of time and divide the coaching staff, so every person in the organization, coaches and players, are involved in it. The result of each play is at the spot, and then it's fourth down. If someone creates field position close enough for a field goal, then they make the attempt. And then after about 4 exchanges, you can cater it to your own needs. But after about 4 exchanges in punts, we'll try about 5 field goal attempts for each team on each hash. It goes very quickly. Then after halftime, we'll repeat it, and then we'll finish with a series of plus territory punts, of special situations, of backed up punts, just to make sure the team can recognize and execute in those parts of the game. So let's take a look at the script, and as you can see here, at number 1 there, we're starting with the white kickoff team versus the orange kickoff return. It's at the -35. And as soon as the orange team takes possession of the football, they can either score or it will be 4th and 7. Certainly if they fumble it, the white team will have a chance to pick it up at that spot. So we'll do about 8 change of possessions there, so we'll get 8 punts and punt returns, 4 for each team. And then we'll go into a series of 5 placement kicks, and then we'll flip it. And then we'll do placement kicks again, and then we'll go back. We'll do another kickoff versus kickoff return, and we'll repeat the process. So let's show you this first sequence. In this case, the white is kicking off to the orange team. Again, what you call strategically, or whatever your systems are on special teams, is really immaterial to what we're trying to teach you here. What we're trying to teach the team and the coaches is how much field position impacts the game. So in this case, the white team returned it to about the the orange team returned it to about the 33-yard line, and it's automatically 4th and 7. In this case, we're trying a directional right punt, a great punt, and had a chance to pin the white team down inside the 20-yard line. The white team will now take over, and it'll be 4th and 5. The white team is doing a flex punt, a double flex in this case, and again, because of the very good punt by the orange team, they were pinned down, but the white team returns with another bomb. So 2 great punts right now, so it's really hard to gain any advantage from a field position standpoint. So now the orange team has it on 4th and 3, and this ball is at the 35-yard line. They'll do a trips formation into the boundary. Again, it's not really important to you. What's important is the sequence. And again, here is a situation where we're practicing our fair catches. We're giving the returner enough room to catch it. In this case, the white now has the ball on 4th and 1. So all the rules apply, all the alignments, it's live. In this case, it's 4th and 1. The white team puts a shift in. They're trying to draw the orange team off sides. and if they don't, they'll just take the penalty. All right, so good job by the white team trying to really be smart and play situational football, and an excellent job by the orange team being disciplined and staying on side. So now it's 4th and 6 after the penalty. The white team will now punt it to the orange team. Again, not as good a punt, so that ball will be around midfield, all right, for the orange team. And they'll take over on 4th and 7. Orange team gets a great punt here around midfield. The white team, again, you really want to guard against this as a returner. Go no deeper than the 8-yard line. That could have been disastrous there, but the net result was a touchback. The white team will now have it 4th and 5. So again, great opportunity for the orange team there to pin the white team. They didn't quite do it, but the 20-yard line is not bad. 16% chance of scoring from the 20-yard line in. If you're the white team, so clearly that's in our favor there on the punt squad. So now we've fair caught it again. We're practicing fair catches. We're practicing adhering to the halo rule, and I think it's a great exchange. So now we'll look at another sequence here where the orange team will kick off to the white team, who will be returning the kickoff, and then we'll go through a series of change of possessions, and then we'll show you our placement kick. So let's look at another sequence here. This one's a little bit more exciting than the previous one. Here's the orange team kicking off. Again, the white team is the returning unit now. They're executing a return. The orange team is covering it. Good job by the contain element here on the tackle and subsequent fumble. The orange team now will take possession at the 20-yard line. And now they have a choice between running the play or kicking a field goal. Again, there's all kinds of strategy that goes into each play. That's not really important for your staff and your team to understand. What's important is to execute whatever it is that you call and to really understand the impact that special teams has on the game. So the orange team had the ball now on the 20-yard line. It's going to be 4th and 5, and they'll get an opportunity now and choose to kick a field goal. The white team is trying to block it to keep points off the board, but the orange team connects and scores. So now the orange team is going to kick off to the white team. In this case, they elect to go with a surprise onside, which is a great call and really well played by the white team. So the white team now will take over right around the 45-yard line at 4th and 3. And as you see here, the white team elected to try to punt the orange team deep, create field position, and ultimately lead to points. They didn't believe their placement kicker could score 3 points from there. So not a great job on the plus territory, out around the 20-yard line. We'd like to get that inside the 10. Nonetheless, both sides are working a plus territory situation. So now it's 4th and 1 for the orange team. And this is a great point for everybody out there, a great coaching point. Number 87 is coming into the game late. That's one of the things that we're trying to eliminate by doing this special teams situation, is an opportunity for guys to learn how to sub each other, to know where they are in the depth charts, to come in and out, and to make sure that every coach and player is locked into the game and that we don't have substitution issues in the first game. So let's take a look now as 87 runs on. What the white team doesn't know is that the orange team has a has a punt, a fake that they're going to execute. And you can draw these up. You don't just have to run your own. You can draw up a number of them so that you get them executed. So they make the first down but fumble it, and the white team is going to pick it up there at around the plus 37-yard line. At that point, it's going to be 4th and 5 for the white team, and at this point they can either elect to try to attempt a field goal or to punt the team deep. In this case, they line up in a field goal formation, but then execute a brilliant pooch punt down inside the 5-yard line. So now the white team will take over. The orange team will take over deep in their own territory. And we'll see how the exchange ends up here. So the orange team decides to go with a double spread look in this case. And they get off a great punt. Pushes them all the way back to the minus 42-yard line. Excellent coverage, excellent net. Again, that's what we're trying to teach teams. If you're on the white squad right here, generally a backed up situation, you're getting the ball in the plus 40, plus 45. Usually there's a tremendous opportunity in that part of the that field to score points. And generally in that area of the field, you yield points, but because of the great punt, they didn't have an opportunity to do that. So they're going to turn around and go with a fake here, which they convert. They get the ball down to the 25-yard line, and it's 4th and 5 now for the white team. And they have an opportunity to try a placement right before halftime here, and they do effectively. Orange team's trying to block it, keep them off the board, but the white team, because of the successful fake, gets a 4th and 5 at the 25-yard line. Again, gets all the subs in on time, don't need to take a timeout. Got the punt team off and the field goal team on, and really executed. So it's a great learning tool, and the kids and the coaches have a lot of fun because everybody's divided up. So now let's go to the placement kicks. And all we'll do is we'll do 5 from the right hash with the orange going, and then 5 from the left hash, and then later on we'll switch it. So in this case, the white's trying to block it, and if they do block it, they get to return 1 for points. And the orange one, they're live kicks. So if they fumble it, they'll have a fire call. But for the most part, at this juncture, we don't want fakes. We want to make sure we're working on our placement kicks and our placement team. We're in tops on this day, so we're not quite rushing as we normally would, but we are getting the rhythm. We are getting the operation, the battery as we call it here at the University of Miami, between the snapper, the holder, and the kicker. We're getting that operation down, and clearly the orange team is cleaning up here because Jake Wyclaw in this case has made all his kicks, and we're keeping score. And then obviously before we go to the next segment, the white team would have a chance to counter that, to answer back, and generally in that portion, if you get 1 block field goal, that could mean the difference in the game. 2 is going to give you a decided advantage, so the kids have a lot of fun with that. So now as we get towards the end, we're doing our situations, and we'll do plus territory punts, we'll do backed up punts, we'll do onside kicks and against the hands teams, and it really becomes a lot of fun. We get everything on tape, so the first time that we're experiencing something is not the opening game or not the first quarter of the season. And it really gives us a learning tool that will be with our program for a long time moving forward. So in this case, we look at the receiving team is now a hands team, and the white team in this case is the must-onsides team. They're trying to recover a kick. We're not trying to kill anybody. We're just trying to teach and make sure we get everybody lined up. And I'm jumping around here, but in this case we'll do backed up punt. In this case it's a backed up punt versus a 9-man look. On the right side, it's a punt return versus a 2-deep look, and we're setting up a return. We're trying to get the ball back inside of scoring territory. Great punt in this case. And again, we're really teaching all the aspects, not just the situations and how field position impacts the game, but we're teaching the systems and each and every play and the technique of every one of these special teams units. So now the white, who received the punt and returned it to the 41-yard line, does not have an opportunity to kick a field goal, so they'll go into a plus territory punt. We'll try to kick it from this hash and down it inside the 10-yard line. pretty good job there. The ball is going to be down inside the 10-yard line, it looks like, at the 6-yard line. That's tremendous. This situation here is called the KTW, kick to win. That means if we get the ball off, we win the game. This is versus a 10-man look, and everything's accelerated. That means if we kick it, we ultimately win the game. In this case, they have one returner back, so we do have to cover it. But a great opportunity to teach your team all of the situations and everything that you teach on every single unit. So we believe in this special team scrimmage. It's been extraordinarily helpful for us throughout my career as both a head coach and a special teams coach, and it paid great dividends for us in year one at the University of Miami in our special teams game. So I hope it helps you. I hope it helps your team. And ultimately, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to call us here at the University of Miami football office. The next drill we're going to talk about is Category 5, and this is a drill that really gets the guys fired up. It's a competitive drill. If you look on the left side of the screen, it's called rotation. We're just posting the matchups ahead of time, the D-line versus O-line, the linebackers and safeties versus tight ends and fullbacks, and then the DBs versus wide receivers. Those three categories for us are bigs, combos, and skills. We'll match them up in the locker room, post them. We'll get them all juiced up during stretch, make sure they know who they're going against, and when we get to this drill, it's a lot of fun. As you look at the right side of this diagram, the blue shields there, agile bags represent shoot one. That's the bigs, the O-line versus the D-line. The second grouping there are the linebackers, and the bigger safeties versus tight ends and fullbacks. And then the third shoot is DBs versus wide receivers. The quarterbacks will do nothing more than hand the ball off in this drill, and we'll have running backs, or anybody that carries the ball can run the ball for us. Anybody that has vision and can elude defenders can do that for you. I'll stand over here by the blue shields, and I'll make sure that I not only blow a whistle to start the drill, I'll also give a hand signals because it gets really loud. The offense is on one side, the defense is on the other side. Again, we're trying to train our technique, our fundamentals, and our toughness, but it's also a great drill for team unity, camaraderie. Really brings a lot of energy to the practice, and ultimately we'll develop passion because of it. So we'll go ahead and take a look at it, but it's one of the drills that the guys like the best. So again, I'll try to start the drill with a whistle, and depending on how loud it is, with a hand signal as well. Here's a great example of the running back having vision, weaving through there. We don't want him to change the ball on that second level. I'd like to see him finish with a burst here. Right here, burst away from it and explode. If you just look at the second level now, 56 and number 7, if you're looking at it from a defensive standpoint. One of the often mistakes of young defenders when they're trying to defeat a block is just to reach for the ball carrier. It's much more important to strain and shed, and then move your feet laterally. Get off the block laterally. Get your back leg outside the framework. That's going to allow you to do more than just arm tackle. You'll get your body in front of the ball carrier, be able to club and finish. A common mistake here by 56 and 7 on the second and third level. Again, good finish by the safety here, good finish by the linebacker. And again, ball security. Running back's got to tuck it away. This is an instance here at the first level here where you see the defensive tackle, number 54. He'll get a good lockout, but it's not good enough to lock out. You've got to strain and move this foot. If the running back is coming this way, you got to get this foot right down the middle and then get this near foot out, just like you're shuffling. And that will allow you to get outside, get your body outside the framework, and allow you to, at that point, club and base, get a good tackle. Okay? Again, he's going to leave this foot here. He's not going to strain before he sheds. He's just going to lock out and shed. And you really got to, that second step, that second phase, that strain shed before you disengage is really critical here. Again, really combative drill. Good thud by number 20 there, Thomas Finney. Good finish by 58. And we always talk to our guys about being 6-second competitors. Well, this here is an Oklahoma drill, okay? So this is a really combative drill. But this second level here and this third level here, that's the difference between being a playmaker and then just having an average play. Having a game-changer play, a run that would have been 10 or 12 yards, and then all of a sudden we get a 6-second competitor from one of these two guys here in the game, and they keep their blocks, and then we get an explosive run. The same is true for the defenders here now. If they can lock out, two-gap, be able to use their hands, move their feet, strain and shed, and then ultimately finish, we're going to defeat the block and eliminate the explosive plays from the offensive repertoire. So it's really a great drill. It's a drill that we like to teach a lot and then take our training to the game. If you look at 98 in this instance compared to the previous tackle that we showed, clearly you'll see here as he tries to disengage the back leg, the leg away from the intended direction. The intended direction is this way. You have to move the leg away from the intended direction. Get it down the midline, get it down the midline of your body or of the blocker's body, and then shuffle the near leg out. Once you do that, you lock out with the near arm, and then you rip and run, or you strain and shed, whatever you want, or whatever technique you call. But you got to get your hips outside of his hips to make that tackle. Arm tackles don't help you. Great job there. Tremendous job. A lot of energy by the team, by the coaches, everybody involved. Here's a great example of what we're talking about when we're speaking of finishing plays. Here is Shane McDermott, our center, versus Olivier Vernon, our defensive end, who's now with the Miami Dolphins. But Shane truly does a great job staying on the block, playing for 6 seconds, giving us every bit of 6 seconds, and allowing the running back to get through, and then finishing his play. And in this drill, finishing is what we're teaching. Very combative on this level here in this play. Again, you'll see how the guys finish. We're trying to, train and discipline in everybody's mind, a clock in their mind of how long 6 seconds is, and to give it for their teammates every play. You can see how juiced up the offense is on this play. Again, it's a great drill for everybody. A lot of unity, a lot of camaraderie. Here, let's just look at this. Okay, as a Category 5, our first level drill right here. So between our nose tackle here and their guard, this is nothing more than Category 5. 98 for us is a little bit high, but you get the idea of being able to knock it back, playing strong, trying to play square. He got turned a little bit, but he is finishing the play. That's what we're looking for. Here's a great example now, because it really provides us a look at all 3 levels of the Category 5 drill. We're on here on the front side of the zone. We are getting to the second level here with the fullback. And then the third level, this is really always the 6-second competitor. Now we get a good block here, and it results in about a 10 or 12 yard run. But if you can run this guy out of here or get him on the ground, you have a chance always to get explosive plays. All right, and that's what we're trying to teach, and that's what we're trying to train the guys every day. Take your training to the game. And this is a great example of a good play here where all 3 levels of the Category 5 drill are shown in this play. Again, good effort by LeRon Bird, number 2 on the perimeter. He was combative, but again, we're looking for a little bit extra finish there to give us a little crack that we can hit. Well executed play here, getting guys on the ground. Good finish by the running back, not going out of bounds. Well done. Here's another example again. All right, this is Category 5 drill right here. And if you don't give us 6 seconds, especially versus this look, okay, then we're not going to be able to get the type of explosive play we want. We'll get a nice run, but we got to get 6 seconds on the perimeter. In this look here now, all right, that's the level 1 of the Category 5 drill, both of these guys. here's your level 2, and I already pointed out, here's your level 3. In this instance here, we also have some backside guys that end up being level 3, and again, we're looking for 6 seconds. Don't just run down there. Run down there with the intent that you're going to finish. Run down there with the intent that you're going to cut. Okay, and clearly you run the ball here as a running back, all right, like you are going to score every single time. Don't be surprised by how open it becomes. Again, we need a little bit better block on the perimeter. Again, let's look at it from this, that's your level 1. Here's your level 2. That's a level 1, that's a level 2. Okay, and then out here, this wide receiver versus DB, that's the biggest one. We got to make sure that we hold that block and get the type of block that we want there. And again, we're always talking about 6-second competitors. All right, we are full zoning it on the backside. All right, and then of course the quarterback ball fake is critical for us in our success here at all. Again, in this case, we don't do a good job of holding the Sam. We don't do a great job over here, all right, with the X, and it's those two that converge 15 yards down the field to make the play versus our running back. Okay, so let's take a look at it and see, all right, where we go wrong, because this is how you deserve victory. Everybody finishing every single play and tilting the odds of the game in your favor. Okay, so it's a great drill. We've got to take our training to the game, and then you always have a lot of fun with it. Again, when we do this, at the end of the drill, we flip it. So now we take our defensive linemen and we put them over here on offensive line. We take those big old fat centers and guards and we let them play defensive tackle for a day. We take our linebackers and our big safeties and we put them over here as tight ends and fullbacks. We take that big old tight end or fullback and put them over here as a linebacker. We take those safeties and DBs, put them over here as wideouts, and then we take all those wideouts, all right, that are long and to be defensive backs, and we put them over here, and then we have a lot of fun with it. Again, guys get juiced up, creates a lot of energy, great for camaraderie, great team drill. At the end of the day, what are you talking about? Everybody getting 1 or 2 reps? That's about it. That's all they get. But again, we're having fun. We're training competitiveness. We're training toughness. All right, and we're getting really good reps against our best competition. You can see the guys get all juiced up, have a lot of energy, makes it a lot of fun. I'm not sure what this is here, but that is an awful dance. Maybe we should see it from both angles. Again, we're just having a lot of fun with it, letting the guys compete. I'm going to go super slow here on this dance. That's how bad it is. So let's just wrap up this segment by looking at 2 final clips from the 2012 preseason camp. And I think it's important that the kids understand, especially in the dog days of August, how to have fun, how to play with energy, and obviously how to practice and then ultimately play on game day with a lot of passion. And that's what we try to teach here. And again, this is a competitive drill. But we're also teaching them to enjoy the battle, and to look at competition as something that becomes part of your DNA, if you will. And this is one of the ways to do that, getting kids to enjoy that competition every day in August. Let's take a look at this run here. This is Randy Johnson, our Rookie of the Year in the ACC, spinning out of a tackle on the second level, and then, well, I'll let you look at it. Absolutely dead-legging the third level. And the offense goes wild here. Look at that. So again, a lot of fun here. Coaches going crazy, everybody laughing. Good stuff, and that's what we're looking for in August. And again, you'll become what you do every day. And we try to play with a lot of passion here at the University of Miami and practice that way. And we believe what you coach and what you teach. You'll see on the field be reflected in your team's play. But just a great job here. Really a 6-second play. and a lot of fun with the coaches going crazy. And the last clip will show, it just shows, what a tight group we are, just coaches and players, and how much fun we have during practice here. Take a look at this one here. We actually get a ball on the ground here, which we don't want to do. Nobody wants to do, but Coach Williams comes up and scoops and scores here. And again, we're just trying to have a lot of fun. So it's a great drill, and something I think you'll enjoy at every level. Just about every other day during preseason camp, we'll do early work, and that's a 3 or 4 minute period just prior to our warm-up that will really discipline and condition the ability of the student athlete to play with a base, to play at low pad level, to get his eyes up, not turn his head, rub your ribs, get your thumbs up and your hands inside. It's really a leverage drill. It's not a drill that we ask the players to do more than 3 or 4 times. We want to do it right. The first time, we want to, again, condition our technique, our fundamentals, and ultimately the way we react to the tough elements of the game. And again, we feel like it's safe. We try to limit the collisions, and again, it's in a controlled environment. So as we look at the screen, the upper left-hand portion of the screen, you have wide receivers versus defensive backs, and that's just really a stalk drill. Again, we don't like them getting further away than 3 or 4 yards. It's really where your hat placement should be, your hands playing with leverage and a base. Again, we're always drilling and disciplining what we call football position. That's base, knee bend, and then obviously eyes, hands, and leverage. The lower left-hand corner is the center and both guards going against the nose tackle and Mike. The upper right-hand corner is the running backs and fullbacks going against generally our Sams and Wills, our outside linebackers, in a pass rush movement. And then we have tight ends and tackles going against Sams and ends at the bottom of the screen. And again, we'll take a look at it, but we're looking for 3 or 4 reps max. Usually it's 2 or 3. And again, what we're trying to get them to understand is we have to take our technique, our training, our drill work, and make sure that converts into a competitive situation. And this is a great drill to teach that. So the first drill we'll do is the wide receivers and DBs, and that's merely just a stalk drill. And again, we're just looking for hat placement. We're asking, in this case, we're asking for the defensive back to finish the drill with a movement, a rip, a strain and rip to get off the block. And clearly, in this case, we're asking the wide receiver to have a base, try to get your hands inside and finish. Here's an application of it to the game. Again, the difference between an average play and an explosive play is generally effort, and we're asking him to stalk block now, just like we did in the early work, to stay on him, to play with a good base, to have his hat placement in the right aim point, to have his hands inside, to have good leverage, and then ultimately to fight for 6 seconds. I think that's the most important thing that we're trying to train in every movement, and that's how you really define a mentally and physically tough team. Does your team finish regardless of the circumstance? Let's take a look up at the top of the screen. Just a flare pass to our slot back, and again, we get a nice, appears to be a 15-yard gain, which wouldn't have been as successful without that kind of block. So again, great application of the drill to the game setting. Again, I think the most important thing to understand is just remember that we're not killing anybody. We're controlling the environment. We're breaking down the hits. In this case, we're looking at either the tight ends versus the Sams or the tackles versus the ends. And this particular instance here, it's a tackle versus a defensive end. And again, we're looking for leverage. We're looking for pad level, footwork. Again, we're very close, so it's not something where you're going to have a high risk. It's really just kind of 2 sumo wrestlers, but having a good base, trying to play with leverage. We'd like to stay off the ground in that case. But here's the application to the game, and I think that's the most important thing. He strikes on the rise. He's got a great base. He's disengaging. He's getting his feet outside the framework of the body to make the play in the gap that he is assigned to be in. So I think that's a great application of the game in this instance here by Anthony Chickalo. Good pad level. Again, he's going against a big man, so very, very well done, executed on that play. We'll look at a tight end going against a Sam now. And again, we don't like the Sam to be in a 9 technique, or even if we go against the linebackers, we don't like them 5 yards off the ball. We just want to. It's really just we're trying to get see who can get their hands inside and see whose hat is below whose hat, and then ultimately we're trying to play with a base. And for us, that's the football position. That's, you hear us say it all the time. Be able to be in a football position, play with a bend, play with a base, play with your eyes up. Don't turn your head. We always talked about our guys turning the stripe of their head. Well, that's where they get stingers. That's where they get injuries to the head, and we don't want to do that. But the only way you can train that and really reduce injuries is by putting it in an environment like this, breaking it down, and then essentially give them that skill to go out and play with on the field. Let's take a look at Dylon Dye, one of our tight ends now. Again, really good rep. Hands inside. Again, we like to stay up if we can, but hands are inside. Let's take a look at number 70 here, the right tackle. Again, are we getting our hands inside? Once we get to this spot right now, once that initial footwork gets us to this spot, it's just simply early work at this point. And now it's do I have a base? Are my hands inside? Am I playing with low pads? Okay, and again, we always talk about in this drill, the fight begins on contact. So once I make contact, am I running my feet? Do I have a base? If my hands miss, do I reset my hands or drop my weight? And those are all the things that we're trying to apply to the game. This is a great example here by our right tackle, Jonathan Feliciano. Again, really good finish on that. We're looking for a 6-second competitor every play. So now we're talking about the running backs versus the outside linebackers. Of course, the running backs are trying to move laterally, play with a base, strike with their hands, have their head back, okay, have their elbows in, and really mirror the pass rusher. The linebackers in this case, generally the Sams and Wills or the Mikes and Wills, however you want to break it down, are edge rushers. We don't allow them to bull rush. We don't want them to bull rush. We don't need those kind of running hits in the middle of practice. We ask them to use one pass rush move and then have a counter. That's it. Even at the college Division I level, one pass rush, one counter, and that's it. You can use a bull rush as your third, but that's what we like to drill in this period. Again, here you see Michael James at running back, and does a really good job. We prefer that he not lead with his head as much, that he really sit back and punch, but he does a great job moving his feet laterally here, and he's excited about it, which is great. Again, we're not looking for a bull rush ever. We want to make sure if we're going to use a skate move here, or we're going to use a swim, let's use that. We don't want to use a bull rush on the opposite side. Good job here by 33. Initially, got his weight forward. Again, so you could tell this is not a heavy-duty contact drill. It's really more about technique. At this place right here, the whole team in this period for 3 or 4 minutes, this is it. And no matter whether you run there, you pull there, you're a second-level blocker, you're a stalk blocker, or you're on this side, it doesn't matter. At this point, it's stripe to stripe for everybody. So what's going to win? Here's how you win. You win with your base, you win with your power angles, you win with your knee bend, you win with leverage inside of him, and you win with low hat level. And that's it at the end of the day. That is our football position, and we say it all the time. We work it in our off-season program. We're constantly trying to make sure we're working on their ankle and knee flexion, and then also low pads, eyes up, shoulders back, and be able to punch and play in that football position, because at this point on, that's all it is football position. So it's a great learning tool for everybody on the team. Again, how do we apply it to the game? Well, this is it right here. Let's go back and look at this scoreboard here. 24 seconds left, fourth quarter, okay? And Carolina just recovered an onside kick, and they look like they're going in, okay, with the ball in the 42. They look like they're going in and the challenge for a touchdown. So, again, you're trying to make everything automatic. You're trying to make everything so that at the end of the day, we react a certain way in a specific situation, that habit is brought to the game. What you're training is brought to the game. There's a great example here. And we'll see it again. If everybody just focus here on number 31, Sean Spence, now of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Watch Sean come off second nature now. Skate move, finish, all right, game over. That's it. And that's all we're trying to train. On the inside three now, centers and guards versus nose tackle and Mike. Again, it essentially ends up being 3 one-on-ones. Again, we don't like the linebackers being too far from the line of scrimmage in this drill. But essentially all it is if you just look at it, it's just whether he has to step there, okay, or run there, if it's this guy running there, or they step there. Once they get to this point now, it is just a football position, and it's a leverage drill. And it's running your feet on contact, it's low hat, it's hands inside, and it's knee bend. It's all the things that we train. And that's all we're trying to teach the guys, is that it's okay to run there, and it's okay to know that you have that guy. But what do you do when you get there? What's your responsibility when you get there? Knowing your assignment is one thing. Doing your job is the other thing. And to do your job at this level of football, you got to understand the impact that being in the football position has on the results of each and every battle on each and every play in the game. So again, that's the kind of intensity that we're looking at. Again, if you just look at this situation here, it's just the same 3-on-3 drill we just saw. It's the exact same 3-on-3 drill. Now, okay, again, this guy's going to motion over and block him. We're going to block here, but for these guys in here, it's the same 3-on-3 drill. Okay, if you just look at this right here, it's taking the training to the game, taking the drill to the game. We don't just drill to drill. The players need to know the hows and the whys. Show them how and tell them why, and then you'll have better impact and improved results for your team. Again, great application of the drill to the game. Good finish by a lot of guys there. That's what we're looking for. That's what we call Miami Hurricane football there. Finishing, all right, with an attitude, being a 6-second competitor, and ultimately, without putting the kids in danger, you're teaching them the fundamentals, the toughness, the technique, and again, in a controlled environment where you know they can really reduce risk and reduce injury.
The next drill we want to introduce in terms of being physical in practice and compartmentalizing your contact so you stay safe is the half-line drill. And really the purpose of this drill is to get the physical contact in, stay on your feet, eliminate the piles of going 11 on 11, and also you eliminate all the backside pursuit, which quite often is the diving and reaching and it creates the piles on the backside. So we really want to place the ball in the left middle and the right middle. And every time we do this on offense, we'll post the formation that we're going to use that day and the 2 runs and the 2 passes that we want to use on offense. And on defense, we'll run an under and over, an odd front. We'll mix 2 deep with quarters or post coverage. And again, we want to continue to change it up. To be flexible. In this particular instance, on the left side, you have a pro formation. On the right side, you have a doubles formation, whether it's 11 personnel or 12 personnel. It's a ZY and a tailback. So there's sometimes that we go X fullback and tailback with an open side. You can also put a slot side in there as well if the defense is working against 10, 11 personnel or slot formation. So again, it's a great drill for us. We go rapid fire, left, right, left, right. If it's a 5-minute period, we're going to script 10 plays on the left, 10 plays on the right. And if it's a 7-minute period, we'll get as many as 12 or more on each side. So 24 plays in 7 minutes. So again, it's a fast-moving drill. All of the second and third team defenders need to be on the sideline, have a rotation planned out accordingly because they're going to have to run in because, again, we're snapping this ball just about every 15 seconds or so. And the coaches, it's important that you stay out of the way too. So as we go to the tape now, you can see we're going against an over front here, an over quarters look. Just a simple Hank route, curl flat combination. And again, the purpose of this is not really to talk about the X and O's, just to get you situated so that you can better execute your practice plan and understand what we're trying to get done in the half line drill. Again, we don't want anybody on the ground. This is a power play versus an under quarters look. Again, we do a good job of keeping our feet, but at the same time, we're getting our physical plays in there, and without the cutting, without the tackling to the ground. Here's a lead draw versus under front again. So again, the defense and offense will post what they're going to do that day. In this case, we're running, pro formation versus an under quarters look. In this case, we're going an overlook, with a weak safety rotation. So again, we'll change it up. But again, it's rapid fire. There's another look at a power play. Good cut there versus the Will Fast on the backside. And we like to keep the guys up. We like to try to always finish with a strip on defense and finish with a burst on offense. Everybody on the sidelines getting the call. If you're on the field, it's find the ball, get the call on defense. And if you're a huddle team, it's in and out of the huddle. We've transformed into a no huddle operation. As is the case here, you can see the right side is going, but the left side is already on the line of scrimmage getting a call. Here's another look. Just a one-back play action pass. Again, tight end flanker side against an over front. Yeah, I'm not really interested in discussing at length what we're doing on offense and defense and all these plays, but let's take another look at this, because here's the open side that I was referencing at the beginning of the drill. X receiver, just a tackle now, no tight end, fullback and tailback versus the backside of under, if you will, a 3, a 5, the will in the A gap now with a fist or free safety down in the box. Get another look at this from the end zone. Here comes the free safety down in an 8-man front. Again, they're great learning tools. Again, here's a pro formation. I think we're going to get an outside zone here. Force play, if you will. Let's see. In this case, we have no backside guard in this day. It just depends what you want. So, again, if that's the case, you're running it, inside zone, split flow, play action passes over there. Here's the pro side on the left side now. Again, we like to stay up there. Nice physical play. Nice tackle from Denzel. If you've already looked at the tackling drills, great job of tackling inside out, having a base. Like to have them stay up, but great job there. And now some application to the game now. Here's the weak side zone play that we saw earlier. This time run to a shade and a 5. Great job by the left tackle. Reaching the 5 and running. Again, just condensing the formation here to try to run some kind of curl flat combination. Again, just trying to show you the application of some of the plays we just ran in the half line drill to the game. We don't like to waste time or reps in practice. And again, we get a lot of them in this half line drill. And again, we just feel like guys are safe Everybody's at the point of attack. We don't have the piles. Nobody's on the ground. It's a great drill for us. And here's kind of a cross dog zone blitz with the left safety coming down with this outside linebacker who's walked in a forced position. Again, a lot of the plays that we just worked. Great example on this one here, a 2 tight end formation that we just saw. Just a simple outside zone and stretch play, if you will, and Randy Johnson cutting it back, doing a great job using 2 stiff arms, and great job of finishing by our players down the field. So again, the practical application of it, we think it's a great drill. It's really a way to get a lot of contact in a short amount of time. Not to put anybody at risk of injury, control your piles, compartmentalize your contact, if you will, and keep your team healthy and able to improve the entire season long. Again, I think you'll find the half line drill useful. I think you'll find out that you'll get a lot more reps than you would in 11-on-11 period. You'll go fast. You'll keep everybody healthy. Everybody will improve fundamentally. You'll become a much more physically tough and competitively tough team. But at the end of the day, as the head coach and as a coach, you want your guys to stay healthy and improve, and I think you'll accomplish that by using the half line drill.
Hi, I'm Al Golden, the head coach of the Miami Hurricanes, and today we have with us Denzel Perryman from Coral Gables High School. Right here is Tracy Howard from Miramar, a cornerback, and a safety, Dion Bush from Columbus High School. Today we're going to instruct you in the fundamentals of tackling. We're going to break it down piece by piece and then do some very basic drills to help you learn the basic fundamentals of tackling. So the first thing we want to talk about in reference to tackling is, and it's probably the most important part, is your hat and eye placement. And again, at many different levels, you can teach various things. But the number one thing is to have your eyes up, and almost as a good coaching point, it's almost try to hit with your chin as opposed to the crown of your head. That way you keep emphasizing your eyes up constantly. When we talk about hat placement, even if you're a football squad out there that doesn't have a stripe on your helmet, we always put a stripe on the helmet in preseason camp or in spring football, because we want to, A, know where their eyes are, and B, we want to make sure that we don't see the hat turning like this or this violently on contact. Again, it's very important for us to always have our stripe, all right, square, our eyes up, and hitting with the face mask, all right? And again, we always say, you know, don't be afraid to hit with that bottom of the chin. That's going to really emphasize eyes to the sky, okay? Have your eyes up. Okay, and obviously keep the crown away from the running back and out of the game of football. Let's look at some of the common mistakes we see, okay, in terms of quite often, and you have to condition this. That's why you got to teach the form fit. You got to teach the club and base, because you got to condition them to keep their eyes open, all right, stay strong and steady, all right, and then make sure that at contact, right before contact, they're not a guy who's turning at the last second, because now we're taking a blow in the side of the head. And again, we're going to cause neck and head injuries that way. So again, let's make sure that we don't get a situation now where he's turning at the last second. So let's do it wrong this time, and let's turn our head at the last second. Break, go. Okay, we don't want that. The number one defect we see with tackling in college football is when young people leave their feet. When you leave their feet, you have no way to distribute the tackle among your hips, your knees, your ankles, and then obviously through your arms and chest with a club. So that's the number one thing that we see is we always try to talk about keeping our cleats in the ground and seeing what you're hit, having your eyes up. And again, never with the crown of the head. And if you have to overemphasize that point in terms of their eyes with contact, is make sure their chin is up. Make sure their chin is up, and when they're tackling, the face mask is long enough, it will protect the young man. But we have to make sure that the whole body, as we deliver the blow, the whole body can absorb it, okay? And again, this is the most common, and it's the most common among your secondary group. So it's really important. The guys on the perimeter, a lot of them are coming to us using this technique. We call it block tackling. All right, that means you're just, all you're doing is you're throwing a shoulder, you're leaving your feet. Okay, let me just demonstrate. Okay, you get to the point where here comes the ball carrier, you're not in good position, all right, and all of a sudden you just bail out and you just throw your shoulder in at a leg and you hope for the best. Well, the bottom line is once you leave your feet, the only thing that is going to distribute or absorb the blow is your neck and head. So it's absolutely fundamentally important from the time they are 7-year-olds and up, that we always teach, get your cleats in the ground, have ankle, knee flexion, have your base, drop your anchor, and teach them how to club and end up chest to chest. We don't want to be in position where we lunge. All right, now not only we're hoping that we just hit them with a shoulder or with an arm, but we can't control that guy, and that guy's running like this. And so often when we see this kind of tackle in a game, that young man's knee comes up and will get you in here or get you in the side of the, all right, or you'll just expose your neck and you'll see these guys' necks turn on contact. That is the biggest fault with tackling that we see in the game today, and we got to it's our responsibility as coaches to get it out of the game. Keep your cleats in the ground, all right, have a good knee bend and distribute that impact throughout your body. We'll break down the tackling for you right now. The first thing we'll do is just teach the basic form fit, and that's what we call a club and base. We want to step with the near leg. All right, we want to rub our ribs. We want to rub our ribs, have our thumbs up. Again, be careful with young people. All right, a lot of times they give you the lobster. All right, we don't want the lobster. The lobster, all right, the lobster technique has a tendency of allowing young people to put their head down. We don't want that. We want your ribs in here. Just like you were blocking on offense, we want our hands to rub our ribs. We want it in here nice and tight, okay? All right, so we're generating force. It's bringing our hips, which will distribute the blow throughout our body, okay? And we want our thumbs up and we want to be tight. When you get like this, okay, that's when injuries occur. That's when you're taking it on the shoulder. That's when your head goes down. That's when exposing your head. You want to be here, compact and tight. When we're teaching the form fit, so go ahead and fit in there for me, Denzel. When we teach the form fit, just fit in for me. All right, what we're looking for is a 45-degree angle in our back. You're still too big. You're still too elongated on that step. There you go. Okay. All right, so we want a 45-degree angle on the back. Okay, we want a nice base. All right, we want to stay in the fit. We want our elbows in. All right, we want our eyes to the sky. Again, all right, he's almost hitting with the bottom of the chin as opposed to the crown. So if you can emphasize, and we don't hear a lot of people say it that way, but if you can say get your chin up, okay, then the kid will know that crown is out of it, and it's almost chest to chest on the tackle. Again, relax now, Denzel. If I'm teaching youth football, or if I'm teaching young people how to tackle, okay, well, we definitely want, we're not at the 400 level yet, or we're not at the elite level in terms of being able to see what you hit, having a strong neck, then I would really teach chest to chest, and I would open up that degrees from 45 to about 20 or 25. So if he was a youth sport participant right now, I would say, look, we really want to be chest to chest. You may get knocked back once in a while, but at least our head's out of the game and we're chest to chest. So first we'll show you a 45-degree angle that we teach here, and then we'll also give you the opportunity, if you're coaching Pop Warner or Optimist leagues, of really getting the head out of it altogether by teaching a chest tackle. We're just going to take one step and get in the fit. Our elbows are going to be tight. Our thumbs are going to be up. We have a good power angles here, 45-degree angle here, 45-degree angle here, and we're ready to go. Break, go. Good, good. And again, we're shooting our arms. We're shooting our arms and hands. We're not winding our hands up. Again, whether it's the lobster claw or we wind up, both of those will predispose you to dropping your neck, and we don't want to do that. We want to have our hands in our holsters, and bam, that 6-inch knockout punch that you see heavyweights do. Break, go. Again, notice Denzel, he really has his eyes to the sky. His face mask will hit first, but his chest will almost hit simultaneous, all right, as well as his club, his base, and his arms will wrap up. Break, go. Good. One more time. Break, go. Good. And again, so relax. So once we start teaching the proper footwork, the base, all the power angles, rubbing your ribs, thumbs up. Now the next thing we'll teach is how to grab that cloth and run your feet. Okay, so the first drill we do to teach the fundamentals, other than the form fit tackle, is the club and base. And really what we try to do is we try to put Dion here, who's on offense, we try to put him about 3 feet or a yard away from the defensive player. And what we're trying to teach the young men in this short area is to generate as much force as you can, all right, with your club and with your base. So in essence, what we're trying to do is we're trying to get compact, have good power angles, good base, hands inside. We're going to step, and then we're going to club and base here, all right, and really try to generate force. Again, if you can generate a lot of force with your club, then it's distributed between your upper body, your hips, your knees, and your ankle flexion. Again, have your cleats in the ground. We don't want guys leaving and taking a chance that their head's going to be up on contact. Keep your cleats in the ground and have a good base on contact. Again, a narrow base equals injury. Okay, equals missed tackle. We don't want that. We want a base. The fight begins on contact. So if we have a good base and we are doing everything technically sound, now when the running back's trying to move away or you get caught in a power, you have a chance to hold on. If you have no base, you see quite often guys just fall down on contact. Plus, you're absorbing the blow in the upper musculature, your head, your neck, and your shoulders. So you want to be careful with that. You're here, you're on the inside number, you're here, and boom, you're here. Okay, have a base. Okay? Again, the biggest thing is, all right, at the University of Miami, when we're tackling a ball carrier on an angle, we always want to be on the inside number. And again, our thinking is that ultimately good running backs are going to cut back, and if you put your head across the bow, like our coaches from a couple of generations ago would teach, on the cutback you'll miss. If your aim point is the inside number and he cuts back, you might end up on the outside number on the outside shoulder, but you'll still make the tackle, and that's something we reinforce every day. Break, go. Good, good, good. All right, Denzel, you try one. Go. Good, good. That's what we're looking for. Tight, compact. How much energy can we create in a short area? Because again, the game is not a game where you just run and you're free to hit somebody. You got to defeat a block, move your feet, and generate area and be safe. So again, we want to be square and compact and explosive. Let's have Dion try one. Break, go. Good, good. Again, this is good that we're watching this, and it's a common mistake. Dion wound up, and you can't do that. You got to have your hands in front like they're in the holster, and it's step. All right, club and base. Shoot him. Shoot your hands. Don't wind up. He's gonna beat you to the punch if you wind up. Shoot him. Shoot them. Get them out of the holsters and shoot them. And it's gonna generate area. What we're trying to teach them here is we're trying to over-exaggerate the club. All right, over-exaggerate the club. Over-exaggerate your base. All right, be really sharp, quick, and explosive. Beat them to the punch. Don't have your base too big. Don't have your base too big. Break, go. Good, better. Good, that's it. Break, go. Good, good. Denzel, you go. Break, go. Good, that's what we're looking for. Good club and base, good club and base. Dion, go ahead. We want to stress that their eyes up. We want to be on a 45, not any flatter than that. We want to have our chin up, all right, and we want to be able to club, so we are face mask up, and we're going right to the chest. Face mask, chest. We're not just hanging our neck out there and it's isolated, or we're turning our head one way or the other. Now we're taking a side shot. We're going to get a concussion that way. We're going to expose a trap. We're not doing that. We're tight and strong in here, and it's bam. How fast can you do that in a short, constricted area? And one of the ways that we're proud of our safety record here at the University of Miami, our guys get really good at doing this. They get good at beating a block and in a short area, stepping in and clubbing quickly. Let's take a look at Dion Bush now. One, stress that their eyes up. We want to be on a 45, not any flatter than that. We want to have our chin up, all right, and we want to be able to club, so we are face mask up, and we're going right to the chest. Face mask, chest. We're not just hanging our neck out there and it's isolated, or we're turning our head one way or the other. Now we're taking a side shot. We're going to get a concussion that way. We're going to expose a trap. We're not doing that. We're tight and strong in here, and it's bam. How fast can you do that in a short, constricted area? And one of the ways that we're proud of our safety record here at the University of Miami, our guys get really good at doing this. They get good at beating a block and in a short area, stepping in and clubbing quickly. Let's take a look at Dion Bush now. Break, go. Good. Again, this is great for all you young high school guys watching out there. Deon Bush is a freshman and Tracy's a freshman and Denzel's a sophomore. And you could see the difference between freshmen that are still winding up and maybe don't have the footwork, so we're still working it on this level. By the time these guys start their second year, they'll have it down cold. Denzel right now has it down cold. So it's a common mistake. Winding up, elongated step, they're common mistakes. And they're great to leave in teaching tapes because, you know, we all don't live in a perfect world. You guys got to understand what the common mistakes are and how to fix them and how to coach them at your level. This drill really conditions the notion of bringing your feet and hips with you. All right, feet under your hips, courage to the ball, club and base. So if I'm just demonstrating, as I come in here, I'm clubbing and basing, and then I'm getting my feet and hips back out, and then I'm clubbing and basing again. All right, Denzel will do a great job for you demonstrating. So on the go here, okay, what we try to teach is on the fourth hit, we finish it and take them back. Remember, in a tackle, if everything is good, your base is good, your form is good, all right, then once you grab for cloth, the fight begins on contact. So make sure you condition the finish all the time. In this case, Denzel will take him back 5 yards on the fourth hit. Break, go. Good. 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 Tremendous. 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 Okay. So now we'll take a look at it from behind, just so you can really see the exaggerated arm work, all right, by Denzel, how quickly his hips and feet get underneath his body, again, to distribute that blow. We want to deliver the blow, man. We just don't want the blow to stop here in the upper musculature. We want to be able to absorb it and distribute it through the whole body, and then be able, all right, to wrap up for cloth, have our base, and have live feet at the end. Another thing you'll see here when Denzel's going, he does a great job with his vision and his eyes. His face mask is always up. It's always face mask. It's almost as the face mask is a grazing blow, and then he ends up chest to chest. That's the position that we want to be in football. That's the safest position in football, is to end up being chest to chest, all right, with your ability to drop your weight, all right, and flexion in the ankles, the knees, and having your arms in tight with a bull neck. That's the position that we're looking for. Denzel does a tremendous job doing it, and then you'll see him accelerate his feet on contact on the fourth hit. On the go. Break, oh, relax, relax, relax. On the go. Break, go. Good. Good, accelerate your feet, accelerate your feet. Good, tremendous, tremendous job. The fourth segment we'll talk about is what we term recoil here at the University of Miami. And it's very much like rapid fire, but now we're moving laterally, and we've added an element of staying on the inside number. Again, when you are chasing a ball carrier from inside out, we want to stay on the inside number. That's really important. We don't want to be on the outside number. We don't want to get our head across the bow like so many have taught for years. We want to stay on that inside number, okay, and track the ball carrier, stay a half man behind, okay, so if the ball carrier cuts back, then we'll end up on the outside number or on the outside pad, but we still have a chance to wrap and prevent a cutback or a spin out, and it's really important to teach that. Break, go. Good, good, good. Excellent job, excellent job. Again, we want to stay inside out on the ball carrier, bring our feet, accelerate our feet into the hole. We want to condition, all right, the mindset of quick feet into the tackle, all right, with your feet under your hips. So it's also important that the running back acts like a linebacker or acts like a tackler. Not only does he come in with the same technique, but he comes out with the same technique. The only difference is he's clubbing and making contact, and they're both reversing out. Break, go. Good, don't wind up, don't wind up, don't wind up, good. Stay compact, okay, good, it's very good. Okay, two things now, two things. He got his elbows out. Again, we don't want his elbows out. We want his elbows here rubbing the ribs, and he's not compact yet enough. Okay, Deon is a long player, and it's something that we're working on with him. So again, so that the blow isn't absorbed up here or here, all right? A long player sometimes have a tendency to get narrow or take long steps, and you got to train fast feet, fire feet. Now Tracy is a corner, and again, we train the corners, the defensive linemen, and linebackers all the same. All right. Now the big thing with Tracy is don't wind up, have a base, don't get too narrow. All right. Get yourself out of there and get in a good fit position. On the go. Break. Go. Good. Stay down the whole time. Very good. Very good, Trace. Good. Let's see you fight on contact now. Fight on contact. Very good. That's a great rep right there. making sure the young people out there see the proper hat placement, okay, see the vision of the eyes, see exactly where he fits on the body. So the first thing I want to show you is one of the common problems that we see in tackling today, okay? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm really going to get him past 45. I'm going to get him past 45 with his head down. And I want you to see, this is something, all right, that will undoubtedly cause injury, all right, and put you in a position that will predispose you. And again, it may not just be a concussion or a head injury, it might be a neck injury, all right, or some other injury, but we want to make sure that we're never in this position, young people, never, okay? Again, if you go past 45, you're going to predispose yourself to that, okay? So again, let's show the proper placement of just so they can contrast that between what's right and what's wrong. Let's look at what should be the ideal way. Again, 45, flat back, good flexion here, good flexion in the knees, good base. This blow is going to be absorbed all through here, okay? The elbows are tight, all right, and the hat is up. And it's almost to the point where his chin's up. So if he makes contact like that, it's going to be face mask and then just club for me. Face mask and then chest, almost simultaneously. That's the safest position to be in football. Okay, next one. The next common mistake we see, as I said earlier, is that elongated base. And it's that base that, again, you see guys who come in violently and they go to make a club and then they fall over right away, or that running back runs you over, or again, you're absorbing the blow because you have no base. You have no stability, okay, and no balance on contacts, okay? And again, it's hard, all right, because there's so many variables in football, but you got to teach, even in short areas, and that's why we do these drills. In short areas, it's really paramount that you drop your legs, okay, you use your strongest muscle group, all right, you have a good base, and now you club in a short, constricted area. All right, so one of the chief problems that we see is sometimes an overstride with this. Take an overstride, just take an overstride, take an overstride. We get an overstride and we get a narrow base. And again, now we get a function where if the running back hits you, all right, you're taking all the blow. You have no balance. There's no way for you to distribute that blow throughout your body, and you're asking for trouble. Again, let's look at the correct way. Denzel, just do what you always do, okay? Again, shoulder width apart at a minimum. Drop in his hips. Drop that anchor. Strongest muscle group in the body is right here. Legs and buttocks, okay? All right, and then obviously now he has a chance to absorb that blow, distribute it through his body, and he's in great position to run his feet that way on contact. Another common mistake we see with tackling is the club, okay? So a lot of times what we'll see with the club is we'll see that the elbows go out and what we call the lobster technique. We don't want this. We want to be in here. We want to be tight. We want to have symmetry. We want to stay in that cylinder. All right. We want to have our arms in the holster. We want to be here nice and tight. That's the safest position in football right here. Boom. Nice and tight. Chest, be ready to wrap and grab cloth. So some of the common mistakes are, you see the lobster technique. All right. Another common mistake is the constant reaching. Okay, and again, if you're constantly reaching and not bringing your feet, we always say, all right, run before you reach. Run your feet and step on his toes and have your chest to chest before you reach. Run before you reach. Don't just reach. Okay, you're going to miss tackles. The last part of the base is quite often what we see, guys winding up. Again, that's when you get beat to the punch and the ball carrier drops his pads, okay, and you lose that opportunity. Again, you want to stay on the inside number, working inside out in the ball. There are occasions when we say get on the outside number. If we are the shortest defender and we're a force player, sometimes we'll do that. But for the most of the part down here, all right, what we want to do is we want to stay on the inside number, attack the inside number, and club and base. Okay? So let's just take a look at each one of those, okay? So give me a lobster here. Just give me a lobster with your elbows out and thumbs inside. Just give me a lobster. Yeah, there you go. All right, so that's the number one. That's a terrible position to be in terms of you look like a lobster grabbing for prey. That's the first example of what we don't want as a good tackler, okay? All right. The second thing is just slide back a little bit, okay, and just start reaching. Okay, just start reaching. We see a lot of players, more than likely you're going to reach with one hand. We see a lot of players that are reaching, okay, they're not in good position to absorb a blow. If he cuts right now, and he comes into us, we're going to get blown up, and we don't want to do that. Okay, we don't want to just reach, because a lot of times that's when you grab the face mask, and now you're jerking the head. We don't want to do that. So we always talk about running, close the distance, run before you reach, run before you reach. Okay, quite often what we find out is if we stay on that track, we'll get there, okay, because we A, have to trust our teammates and the force player. B, we have to trust the sideline. And we have to close that distance knowing that he's either going to cut back or we'll force him out of bounds. And then also the fact that many times he's just trying to be elusive and he'll cut back into us, and we got to be ready for it. The third mistake we see quite often as it relates to our club is the windup, and it's something that we want to make sure we coach and discipline out of them at a young age, all right? Because the windup, again, the windup has a tendency to drop your head, okay? And it also will expose your upper body, and also a lot of times the running back's just going to put his hands down or put his hat down or put his pads down and get right into it, and you don't want to wind up. You want to beat the opponent to the punch. So we'll show what a wind-up looks like, and then we'll show it performed correctly. Break, go. Good. So we don't want to have that wind-up. Okay, now we'll show you what it should look like. Again, we always talk about have that gun in your holster, and then just bring it out. Bring it out. It's a 6 to 8 inch, all right, punch. All right, then you see that heavyweight, they get in there, they're all tied up, and it's bam. And that's what we're looking for. We want to be explosive movements. Beat them to the punch. Break, go. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. What we're going to talk about is grabbing for cloth, all right? And at the University of Miami, we talk about the fight begins on contact. So, again, what you see a lot of times with young people is, all right, they'll be really good till contact, and then they'll just go dead with the lower body. And you don't want to do that. You got to have live feet. Your feet should be on fire, okay? Fast, hard, choppy steps, quick steps underneath your base. Okay, you club your arms, and once you get them in the back there, now you're grabbing cloth. Okay, and it's really important to grab cloth. Okay, and keep your base, and the fight will begin on contact for you. Denzel is going to demonstrate just shooting those hands through, grabbing cloth, and then really running to a position where he's hip to hip, chest to chest, and holding on, either making the tackle or holding on till his teammates can get there. Break, go. Good, good. On behalf of the NFL, HSPD, the National Guard, and all of us here at the University of Miami, I want to give a special thanks to Denzel Perryman, Tracy Howard, and Dion Bush for sharing with you and all of the coaches and student athletes across the country the proper techniques and fundamentals of tackling, and we hope it will help you improve your game and ultimately to deserve victory.
Hello, my name is Andrew Swayze, head strength and conditioning coach at the University of Miami. What you're about to see is some static stretches, dynamic flexibility drills that we do prior to practice. I hope these drills will help you and your team prevent injuries and stay flexible. Go Canes. We have a standing stretch, which is considered a game day stretch. This is a game day stretch that we do so we don't have no mistakes on game day. We're stretching out. You got the standing stretch, which you just saw, feet together, hang your hands. Now we got legs wide apart, where you're actually stretching all parts of your hamstring. We're stretching from middle. We'll go from middle, stretching the hamstring, and then we'll also work our way to the right side, where we're stretching the angles of the hamstrings and the low back, making sure we're having no small tissue issues, making sure we're nice and loose prior to the actual static stretch of the standing stretch on Thursday. We have early work, which loosens the guys up prior to starting this exercise. On here, we will actually see, as you see, is a lunging to the right. A hurdle stretch, which you're stretching out your inner hamstring, groin area, which is considered your groin area, and also the other side, outer hips, making sure we're nice and loose in all angles so we don't have no tweaks. After the lateral lunge, we also go into a Saigon squat. Saigon squat motion where heels should be flat on the ground, pushing out on the inner thighs of your hips. Make sure you're stretching out your groin. Then we'll work our way to right knee down, stretching your hip flexor here, with a clap in between, making sure we all in sync together. After the right side, which you see chest up, dropping your hips, stretching that hip flexor, we'll switch and also do the left side. making sure we're nice and stretched out and loosened up. As you see, coaches will intermingle with the athletes, making sure they're focused at task at hand. Kind of a relaxed atmosphere, just making sure everybody upbeat and into the practice. We want to be quick on our feet. We got a 2 clap on the whistle, they up on their feet, and then we go into right quad on the clap. The reason for the clap is just making sure we all in sync and that everybody's on point together. We will stretch our quad, checking out their balance, making sure they can stay on one foot, stretching, and then we also would do the left side, making sure they're nice and stretched out on their quads in every angle. After that, we'll go into right leg back, stretching your right Achilles, making sure the Achilles heel is nice and loosened up and stretched out. From the right side, we will also work our way over to the left side, stretching our Achilles out on the left side as well. Making sure we're nice and loose. The key to this is just making sure guys are ready to perform the task at hand that the coaches have for them and that they're ready to roll. They have no excuses for execution. After that, we want to go into arm rotations with a 10 forward, 10 backwards chain breakers. Making sure the upper body is nice and loosened up, and then we will go right into our neck rotation. After our arm rotation, we just say we will also go into neck rotation and loosen up. And once that is done, this will conclude the Thursday no repeat stretch. This is a Start Fast Monday practice at the University of Miami. We'll be doing a dynamic warm-up to make sure that they're actually warmed up properly. First thing first will be easy stride. Easy stride is just to warm the guy's body temperature up, just getting the muscles and tendons loose. Then we will go into an actual bodyweight squat. Bodyweight squat, just 5 reps, and then we'll go also after 5 reps into good morning. Good morning is making sure we're loosening up their low back and their hamstrings. Next things, we will actually go into a backward cycle. Backward cycle, we're just still loosening up the body, just warming the body up from a different angle, making sure the guy's legs are properly warmed up in tendons. Next, we will go into a stiff-legged kick. The stiff-legged kick is another stretch that's actually going to warm up the hamstrings. We like to do this moving as you see. We'll go also into a crescent kick, which is loosen up the outer hip and groin area, making sure the hamstrings at all angles are properly warmed up. Then we'll go into actually pull a knee to chest. Pull a knee to chest, you have 6 reps, and then we'll go into popping heels, which is loosen up the outer hips and the glutes. After that, we'll go into an A-skip. An A-skip is just some speed mechanics that we're actually warming up the joints, some mobility exercises, just coordinate the guys for their motor skills to get ready to properly execute. Next, we're going to high knees, rapid high knees, knees up, knee up, toe up, just with good arm actions and good knee lift. After the high knees, we're going to cycling ham kicks, making sure our heel comes under our hamstrings and cycling through our hams. After the ham kicks, we're going to a shuffle, making sure we're loosening up the groin area and the outer glutes, and just making sure that they're properly warmed up from their hips and groin area. This is our dynamic warm-up for Start Fast Monday. Tough Tuesday is one of our toughest and most mental and physical practices of the week. Coaches are mainly looking for guys to be physically and mentally tough throughout the process. Prior to our static stretch, guys will actually perform early work. Early work consists of guys warming up with football-oriented drills. This will properly get guys warmed up for what you see here now, our static stretch. Static stretch, as you see, we'll go with legs wide apart, down the middle was our first stretch, stretching the low back and hamstrings. Then we'll also work our way over to both hands on your right ankle. We will actually go into stretching also the left side, stretching all parts and all angles of the hamstring, making sure we're properly warmed up. After the standing stretch, we would go into, as you see here, a rock and roll motion. Pulling knees to your chest and rolling back and forth, loosening up your low back. Low back is the key to making sure they're properly warmed up in their inner core. Well, after that, we would go with feet, right leg out, which we call a modified hurdle stretch. Modified hurdle stretch with both hands on your right toe, stretching out. After that, we will also go into the left side, which we will go on the clap to make sure all players are definitely in sync. And we'll have both hands on each foot, stretching out our hamstring and low back. After the modified hurdle stretch, we will also go into a trunk twist. Trunk twist, as you see here, is where the left leg will be out, their right leg across, trying to look behind them as far as they can, making sure we loosen up the outer hip and also your low back. Next, we will also go into the opposite side, stretching out our opposite side, making sure we're real flexible on both sides. Here, as you see in the video, you have coaches walking around talking to their players, making sure that their minds are focused on the task at hand. After that, we will go into a butt stretch, which is right leg up, arm forward over your knee, over your shin angles, making sure you're actually stretching out your lower back and inner hip, front hip. We'll actually switch it over and do also right and left, as you see here on the stretch. Guys, mainly just making sure we're well flexible and stretched out. Flexibility is key to success and key to injury prevention. This is what we're doing the static stretch for, is making sure we definitely are loose and stretched out so we don't have any injuries. Here we would go into feet together, which we call a groin stretch, like a butterfly groin stretch, some may call it. Making sure we're nice and loose. But we also want to be quick on the whistle. So I would say on the whistle, let's be quick. I will blow the whistle. They will hop up as quick as they can. And now we're probably ready to do our stretches from a standing point. As we up, we will go into a Saigon squat. Saigon squat, where the chest up, heels flat on the ground, pushing on the inside of their knees, making sure they're stretching their groin out. After that, we will go into an actual hip flexor stretch, which we've got the right knee down, stretching out your hip flexor, chest up tall, sinking your hips through, making sure we're getting them hip flexors stretched out. We'll go right and left, and then we'll alternate and go from right and left, stretching out their hip flexors. After the hip flexor stretch, we'll work our way up on our feet, and work our way up to right quad. We want to make sure we're stretching all angles of our bodies just to make sure we're properly warmed up for a tough, great practice at the University of Miami. After we go right, we also going to go into our left, which is definitely stretching out both sides to make sure we're nice and warm. After that, we will go into a right leg back, making sure our Achilles and heels are stretched out. We want to try to prevent as much injuries as possible and make the guys be able to fly around and move according to what the coaches want them to move at a fast tempo with no hindrance of any kind of injuries. We will also stretching Achilles is very key, making sure we're getting them Achilles heels stretched out and guys feeling good and ready to practice. After stretching our Achilles heels, we would go into an arm rotation motion where we're rotating our arms forward and also rotating them backwards, making sure we're loosening up our upper shoulder girdles and all on our arms. After the rotator forward, backwards, and chain breakers, we would go into a neck exercise where we're warming up our necks prior to putting on our helmet. So we'll actually warm up our neck and then put our helmet on. This will conclude our static stretch warm-up at the University of Miami.